Hello my friends, welcome. I'm Joe Silva, and in these two final lessons for the Vectorizing channel, I want to bring here a very great lesson for you to explain how you can create a simple sketch, how you can make vectors, how you can color, how you can make great shadings. And the result, I'll give you this spoiler, alright, because you're gonna be speechless about this result. You're gonna learn how to do this, alright. You're gonna have two lessons, alright, two lessons, which means that we're gonna have this week and also in the next week, the second part. So split it in two episodes because I want to make this, let's say, affordable for your time. I wanna see you doing this with me and try to do this tutorial because we're gonna learn everything here, alright, everything from beginning until the final rendering, alright. It's gonna be very important for you if you want to learn how to do this, to follow me in these two final tutorials, alright, let's get started to our first step, which is going to be the prototype, how you can build the idea, how you can apply the values concept art, and how you can also build the blockout stage, which is the very simple way to do the vector. I will explore here with you the step-by-step about this process, and watch this video until the end because you're gonna be able to learn much more if you watch this until the end of this video, right? Guys, the very first step that you need to do here, it is to get the idea. You need to understand what you want, alright? In that case, I want to build here with you a Christmas tree, and you need to get references. And where you can get references? Using Affinity. You can go here on the stock panel, this panel here. If you cannot see this panel, you can go here in window, and then you can enable right here on stock. Here you're gonna see the Pixabay and Pexels, which is the two library that you can get here on Affinity. In that case, I'm gonna type here Christmas, just Christmas, that's fine. And then you're gonna see here some results that Affinity will bring to you, so you can use this as reference, which is something that you can get inspirations, you can get ideas, and you can decide what you want to create. In that case, I'm gonna grab here this one, and then I will drag onto here. You can click and drag. I'm gonna have here right now the image being placed. Alright, so we have here our very first reference. I'm gonna resize this and I will place this onto here. And just to give you this advice, alright, because everything that I teach you here, it is techniques that I use most of the time when I'm doing my work. Here on the view, you can also go to the view mode. In this view mode, you can disable the clip to canvas. This option here basically will make your project, in that case, not clipping to the artboard that you have here, to the document. So what you can do by doing that, it is to, for example, you can grab some references and place outside of your canvas. Let's say I'm just dragging here, scrolling down just to see if you can get more images. In that case, let me change here to the Pexels. So you can see that Pexels will bring here more references. Let's see, more ideas. We have, let me type here Christmas tree, so I can filter even more my idea. For example, this one here looks nice. I'm gonna just drag and drop here, very big. I need to resize this. I'm gonna place this right here, and then let's grab another one. That can be this one here, that's fine. So why I'm grabbing these images? Because we need to understand the shape, alright? This is fair enough, 3 images as reference. If you want, just to give you this insight, because if you try right now, if you try to get this in vector, if you try to vector a real image, it can be very hard for you to identify the simplified shapes. That's why I like to bring here for you some of my insights, some of my techniques that's gonna help you to understand the principles of art, the principles of making things simplified, alright? So the ability to be a good illustrator is related to how you translate the images in your vision, basically, alright? Here, Pixabay, you can filter this to vector in this option, and then you can have some references that will bring here for you some, let's say, simplified versions. So we have here, just to explain, we have here a real image, and then we have here a simplified image. that you can, let's say, get some ideas, right? Okay, as you can see, we have here all these images as, you know, in layer here. I will group them and then I can hide whenever I want. Now guys, finally it is time to make this sketch, which is the idea, right? I'm gonna switch here to the pixel persona here on top. Then I'm gonna grab here the paintbrush to make the raster, and then I'm gonna use here the master pencil from the Ultimate course, where you can get all my new masterclass course. The link is gonna be available here in the description below if you want to get my new brushes. Here I will create a new pixel layer, this one. Okay, that case guys, I will start to make my idea, but first of all we need to understand the shape that we have here. As you can see, we have a triangle, or a triangle shape, and then a star and others element, which is the gifts. So I want to make here some simplifications for you to, you know, simplify for you how that works. The main idea about the Christmas tree, it is that you have a triangle. Okay, you have a kind of triangle like this, and then also we have here, let's say, a sort of square. You can recognize this by this pattern here, and also we have a star being applied here on the very top, let's say like this. Good. And then look at this, we have three elements, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this is the very three most important shapes that you have. Okay, and also we have others inner details. I call inner details because it's when you draw inside of these biggest shapes, which is this one here. Let's say I'm gonna draw here these lines, all right, because I want to do this shape to look like this. I want to make, you know, this to have this kind of result here and here. You can simplify even more this, okay, forms to the shapes to create more life to it. Here I can even, if you want, you can erase and make this simplified. I can do this. Also you can decide to add more kind of new elements here. Let's say that you want to add a kind of Iceland here. Then you add some gift. The gift, look at how nice is this technique. You can draw a square. Okay, in this square you can decide, okay John, I want to do here a cube. You can have this cube. I want to add here a square. Just draw one face of this square, just one face, and then you can decide if you want to go, let's say here. If you do this, you're gonna see the top arrow, which is this cube here. So try to work with cubes and simplify forms. Here I will add a new one, can be more or less in this direction. You know, I need to tell you, if you draw a lot of cubes, you can see much better how the perspective, the directions of form works. I feel like it's the best solution for creativity when you are doing your things. I think it's really good. Here we have this result for now. It's our concept. Now I'm going to duplicate this to make a new version, right, as you see right now. So after create your very first concept, we're gonna refine this even more. All right, I want to bring more life to this design because it's still very in the very first stage, and I want to polish, I want to refine this even more. Think like a gold, you know, you are refining a gold, a diamond. This is how that works. So for this kind of purpose, here I'm gonna use again the same brush, but in that case I'll create a new layer above, and then I want to do here, for example, follow these guidelines that I'm building. Okay, and then I want to simplify this even more. For example, I want to make this even more bold. Okay, I want to do something like this. I'm using here pencil, which is something that makes your life easier for this kind of purpose. So let's try to to make some shapes like that here, and also here as well. Do something like that, something like this. Look, now it's getting from here to this one, my friend. Then I will do here this shape. I hope that you guys will do this exercise. All right, if you are on the club, you can send your design, because this is a very simple exercise that's gonna help you to get much better skills in this, last month. I know that most of you guys are tired like me, because even I'm quite tired, because we are ending the year. I'm still here doing the tutorials for you. For me, this is quite important to help you guys, to guide you with my tutorials, mainly because most people believe in my work. Most people really love my tutorials to learn from me. That's why I always get inspired from you guys, really. And here I want to create the cubes. I'm defining even more the cubes. Something like this here. Yeah, you can add more gifts soon, but that's fine for now. And we can add and apply a much better line art here for this. Let's call Iceland, something like this. Nice. And here let's polish even more this star here, because let's make this a bit better. I want to I'm not the best guy for drawing star, I'll be honest with you. Even when I was starting as a kid drawing, I struggle always. So I will try to follow something like this. I'll give you a tip here. If you are trying to draw, try to make this kind of movement, circle, and this kind of drawing movement will make a huge difference in your work. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the best guy to teach you about drawings. I'm the best guy to teach you about vector, because this is what I do most of my time. But sketch is something that you need to get more into the flow, into the movement. It's more about how you move your hands, just then you have very precision techniques. No, this is not the case here. That's why I need to tell you, more movements is something that is gonna make your design much better. Okay, after this, let me continue here. Look, I will make this a bit rounded here, and then something like that here. I can use later vector to polish this even more, but so far this is become a bit better than the previous version. So as you can understand about my workflow, I don't like to get much time in refining things, because I like to refine during the vector. Alright, because I already know this will be a star. This is what makes sense for me. I need to know what I want on there in this position, and then I will create the vector on there, and then I can polish the way that I want. This is how I work. And then I can highlight some landmarks. For example, here I will make this bold, this area strong, because I can see even better. For example, that case here as well, and here as well. I'll make this a bit and refine this in this stage. Why, John? I'm doing this because later it's gonna be difficult to, let's say, it takes time to change this in vector instead of doing this in the sketch stage. So look, it's becoming nice. Now it is time to make the values. How this will work, let me explain to you. Well, first of all, let me name it here as line. Alright, I'll create a new layer and name this new layer as values. So to understand the principle about values, this is how that works. I'm gonna switch here to the pixel persona, paint brush, then I'm gonna grab here this brush here. So how this works, basically, if you are a beginner, you have a tonality, one tonality, and then the values works with the contrast between shadow and light. How many colors we have here? Basically we have 1, 2 and 3, but in that case we are just working in gray. Okay, we are not changing here the saturation, the hue. No, we don't want that. We want just to work in less saturation as possible, which is 0 and 0 hue. This guys needs to be 0, and then I'm gonna work here with just the light, okay, the luminance, which is here. So this is fair enough for us to understand about where and how we're gonna apply the values. Cool. To make the values here in a very simple way and fast way as possible, you can go here in the freehand selection tool. You can select here the polygonal, and then you can go here in add, and then you can just do this. You can select the area that you want to add the overall color. So right now I'm going just to, or let me just trace here this area, well, here as well. So using this add option, basically you can continue, all right, to trace the selection area. This is what we are doing with this tool here. So this is what we got, and now I will just grab here this color, this one, and then I will do this. I'll apply here, just paint everything here. Okay, so if you want to do the values by, if you want to do the silhouette, you need to do this in all black. This is our silhouette. In that case, we are doing directly with the values. Here I will select this color, this one, okay, and then I will select the areas that I want to add the shadow. Which areas is gonna be? Well, we need to see. I'm gonna add here the shadows in this area, the shadows here, perhaps here as well. This is so far a very easiest way for you to, I'd say, oh look, I will be honest with you, sometimes it's better to create a new layer for this purpose. I'll create a new layer and call this as shadow. Now I have here this one, and now a separate layer for the shadows. Okay, I feel like if you keep these things separated is better if you want to change or erase. Okay, but feel free, it's a process, and for me process is what's most important thing, because it's gonna make your job easier or hard to work with. Here I'm adding shadows here a little bit here below to enhance even more the contrast. No worries, if there is some gaps here, we don't want to worry about details. Here, shadow here a bit. I can add a bit here. So shadows is where the light cannot reach easily or directly. It's a projection of a shape that is, there is a surface, and then the shadow is reaching from that area. So now let's grab here the light. I'll grab here this color, and then I'll create a new layer which is being called as light. The light I will place in the layers below the shadow because I want to do this technique here. I'll grab here the shade, make this as a bit white, that's fine. And then I will make this brush a bit bigger like that, and then I will bring here the light just like that. You can change the brush size just to have this result, and then I'm planning at least where the light will be placed. Look how nice it's becoming already. Here, perhaps a bit here. I like to add lights in these areas because it creates the feeling of form much better. If you use just one color, it's gonna be hard for you, but in that way it's gonna be easy. Now I will just paint a bit here, painting in values just to get an idea. That's fine. let me grab here the shadows again. I'll grab here this color, and I want to increase even more the silhouette. Look, I will make this something like that to have the cylinder form. I will make this shadow here below. Congratulations, my friend, if you are watching until now. So now it is time to make the vector. So as you can see here, we have this 3-step, which is something that I like to do most of my time when I'm creating, of course. The rough sketch, a bit more polished line art, and then the values, where I can apply here the light and shadows and things like that. Well, as you can see, we don't have a lot of details. We don't have, you know, these circles. This is a kind of detail that we can add later. All right, I don't like to, you know, give a lot of attention for inner details, because this is something that you can manage and do later in vector. All right, so as you can see here, I'm going to start to vector this design here. All right, and which is the very first step that I want to do here. Well, if you are wondering where you can start, I suggest you to start to make from the biggest shape until the small ones. Which one is the biggest? Well, the tree and here below. So we can start that case here below. I will decrease this opacity, and then I will lock this layer here. Can lock. That case, I'm going to, let me bring here the pencil tool here selected, and then I'm gonna activate the auto close. As you see now, I'm gonna make this just like that. So if I draw, Affinity will close this. All right, just like that. Now I will apply here a line just to have here this result. I'm gonna make this in, can be 3. Good. Now let's do here the shapes. I will start from here, and then I will follow this just like that, and finish until here. Good. Now I will do here the tree. I will just focus in making this. If you release the mouse, Affinity will close because of our auto close. Good. I can even polish this line just like I'm doing, like this for now. Here I will add and create this shape. Look at this. I will do in that way. You can do this, all right, in the way that I'm doing. Instead of doing just one single like that, you can do this in the way that I'm gonna show you right now. So you do here one by one, because we can later merge this here, here, and here. Okay, so we have this layer separated. The nice thing about having them separated is that you can change easily, right? Instead of changing one and affecting another. So basically, by doing separated, you have more control at this moment, just to manage to have a better line quality. This is what I give a lot of values when I'm watching and seeing my students design, right? I always take a look to see the line and quality. That case, we are not focusing a lot, but what you need at this moment it is to have the block stage. Block stage is related to, I'd say, to the shape that is separated. So now, right now, I'm going to continue here and create this one. I'll create this one here. I'll just follow what I'm showing you right now. Here, let me do this again. To soften more the line, you can enable the stabilizer. All right, here as well. I'm gonna make this in that way. Good. Change a bit the shape. using the node tool. Okay, as you can see, and then I'm going to create this final one. Look, I will do this in one single track, just show you the difference. Okay, so we got here these shapes, as you can see, and then I'll do here the star, just like that. I'll create this shape. Here, and now let's do here the star. Well, I'll do this by adding a star shape because my star here is not the best, but to have this organic form, I want to do this. I want to convert this to curves. Use now the corner tool, select all this. If you hold the Ctrl and Alt, you can do the selection here, like I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna release it right now because I just want to do this. I wanna select these areas that is outside, and then I can use the corner tool and do this. Right? Look at this. I'm using that way instead of using the shape properties because I like to have more control. In that case, I can do this and change to make this more organic. Look, now as I have the star shape, as you can see, I'm changing a little bit, make this a bit more organic. It's a bit bold. What I like to do a lot as well in my designs, it is to use the contour tool and do this. I can have this result. I like this a lot. Then I'll expand this row. Corner tool, big appearance. So I'm gonna have this result here. If I hide the sketch, this is the result that we're gonna have, right? It's quite, on the early stage for the vector. It's horrible, but this is not the case right now. We are building. We are building the walls. Imagine that you are building your house. At the beginning, the house, it is, not very, pleasant to watch. And we are seeing the bones. So think like vector at this moment in the very first stage is the bones. All right. We are building the muscle, and later we're gonna do the skin and the things and etc. And then look at this. We're gonna do the cubes, which is the gifts. Paint tool. I'm gonna create here. Paint tool. Why? Because it is hard surface. If you use the pencil tool, you're gonna have this result. It's nice, but that case I feel like, honestly, I like to use the paint tool for solid purpose, things like this. Okay, here as well, I'm gonna create the cube, just focusing on the corners. This is exactly the way that I make my vector. Press A, node 2, and then you can create others gifts. As you can see, this gift, it needs to be applied below. That's why we are just creating. And then we're gonna start to group them. Select with shift and then group them in layer. Of course, I'm gonna use hotkeys here. Selected 3 sides and then group. Make this above, this one just two sides because we are not seeing the top area. I'm gonna group this. There we go. Alright, my friends, now what you can do, it is to polish even more this vector stage. Alright, as you can see, we are just building everything here by focusing only in the blockout stage, which is this one here. And I made this in full of black because I can see the silhouette. Our vector is in black, and then I can even, let's say, polish even more the outline silhouette. So I can, in this stage, make this a bit better, right? I can improve here, for example, here, this area, I can make this a bit more in that way here. I just want to do this here, just like that. I'm gonna use here for this kind of purpose. As you can see, I'm gonna use the warp. Why I'm gonna use the warp? Because I want to make this even more, interesting. I want to make this with more flow. Also, take advantage in this area. I want to make this area a bit with the negative and positive space. Okay, can you see? If I leave it like that, look, it makes hard to read. So silhouette is good as well to have negative and positive space. In that case, this one I'll make it like that, here, like this. What is very interesting, I'd say, about using the warp in that situation. Let me make this back this group in gray, like that. Okay, what I will do it is to apply the warp. Let me select this guys here, selected, and then I will go here, warp group, and then I'm gonna use the quad. Look at this. I will make this more open it, and then I will do this. Oh, look how nice the use of warp it is for this kind of purpose. But it's 2D modeling. I'm gonna make this more or less like that here. This one, replace it here. Take your time to make your design more interesting, if you wish so. Just in here, these curves one by one. Also, what I will do, if you want to apply this technique, which is the contour tool, this one, what's gonna happen if you use the contour tool by selecting this shapes, alright, this one, I'm selecting this group, and then I'm gonna use the contour tool. You can expand this even more. You can make this, like that, or like this. Here, I need to make this shape more opened in order to apply the contour tool in a better way. Now let's apply. Can you see? Now it's working much better. I love this tool a lot, to be honest. I'm using this a lot. I'll make this now a bit more dynamic by using the warp in all of this shape here. I can do this, look. I can make this even more opened. Oh, this is fabulous. This is great. I'm gonna make this now until here. Make this bigger. Oh, huge improvement now over our design aspect here. As you can see, we can make this more dynamic. Alright, my friends, after you make all the blockout stage with a better quality with your curves, now we're gonna make a backup because we're gonna start to make the colors. Alright, so in a very simple way as possible, let me show you how this will work. In that case, I'm going to group everything that I did so far, and I will call this as vector 1. I'll duplicate this, and then I'll name this as vector 2, and then I'll hide this layer below. All good. And then, which kind of color do you want to apply? Well, I'm gonna have here a very simple coloring because I want to make this even nice for you to understand what's happening here. I don't want to make you feel confused. Well, let's start first of all to color the star. I'm gonna make these two shapes in yellow. I'm gonna make this can be a yellow just like that. Good. Now the tree, I will select this group here, and then I'm gonna make this in a green. Can be something like this. Nice. Here, this one is gonna make a bit brown, just like that. And this one will be can be pushed to blue to white, something like this for now. And then the gift is gonna, of course, depends about the composition. Let's make this simplified. I'm gonna make this can be pink. It will be in red, and this can be perhaps orange, very colorful. Then of course we can duplicate and add much more of them there. As you can see, we have this group which is called vector 2. We have an outline in all the elements. We have outline. This is very great already, as you can see. If you are planning to do something for, let's say, children book, things which is very simplified. But for now, I want to remove the outlines. I'm gonna have this result, as you can see. I'll be honest with you, to work with shadows by just seeing that way, without lines, you know, working with the shadows in this way is gonna be hard. That's why I'm removing this, just to have this result. And then here's the trick. What I want to do right now, it is to select one by one of these shapes and apply the shading, the gradient shading. There are many ways that you can do this, alright? You can do this by using the fill tool, like this, or you can use and apply, for example, by using the vector brush. Here you need to open the vector brush panel. So it's going to depend which one you want to use. That case, we will use this. Then you're gonna make a color different, and then you paint here, you know, inside of your layer. So there are many ways that you can do this. Also, you can do this by using the pixel persona. You select the layer that you want to paint, and then you can select here. That case, let me use the paintbrush, and you can paint here inside. Let's say here. You can do this as well. So you can do this as well here. You can paint, but remember that the difference between using the vector is that the vector you can change the shape, but the raster you cannot change that, right? It's a bit hard to change. But feel free, alright, to explore each one of these techniques from the fill tool, vector brush, and the pixel painting inside. Now, as you understand the very basic, you know, process about painting inside to add shadings, that case, I'm gonna make this, in that case, in gradient. I'm gonna use here the fill tool, but using the elliptical. Alright, elliptical, and then I will do something like this. You're gonna see. Make this a bit, this color here, just like that. Good. I will copy this property that I have here. Let me make this aspect to change a little bit, something like this. I want to make this quite soft here, something like this. A shading, very simple. I will copy this, Ctrl C, and then I will press. In that case, you can use this technique here, style picker tool. Okay, what I'm gonna do is to use the style picker tool. Click here in the layer that you want to grab, which is this one, and then you can just do this. Doom, 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 doom. Oh my gosh! Whoa! Look at this! What you did here is just by placing the style picker, and then we have copied this property and paste in others places. But of course you need to change here at least the area from the shadow. That case, I'm gonna make it a bit dark, just a bit. Okay, just like that. Here, I'll do the same technique. You can use the Ctrl C and Ctrl Shift V in order to have this result right here. Because as you can see, you can, you know, change the position for the light as you are seeing here, because this makes your values much better, more believable. And I'm making something like this. I'll make it a bit dark, just a bit. Yeah, nice. Good. Copy this, paste here, because we're gonna follow the same direction. I'll copy this, paste here, and make this more or less here, like that. Yes, my friend, here. This one we place it more into here. Look at the quality that is happening here right now. Just make some adjustments for the shading, very simple one. This one as well is gonna make this way here, and this I'll make it, you know, expanded, more bright. Alright, my friend, I wanna thank you so much if you watched this video until now, and we're gonna continue here this lesson in the next week. And just take advantage that you can join on my new course, which is the Masterclass 2.0, and we're gonna learn a lot about the technical aspect using Affinity Designer 2.0. Alright, well, that's it for now, and I see you in the next week. Take care and bye bye. Don't forget to set the reminder here on the link that I will leave on the chat. Okay, see you, bye bye.